Hey guys, it's Marcy. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the haunted house that I grew up in. So if you enjoy ghost story times, then get comfy, grab a blanket, grab a snack, crawl into your bed, whatever, but get comfy because this is going to be a good story time for you. Okay, so this house was really big. It was creepy from the outside and creepier from the inside. It just gave you a different vibe. Like it wasn't homey, it was always gloomy inside, and there was just a weird vibe to the house the whole time since I could remember living there. We moved into this big old house, right? And I remember when our first night there, all of the kids were in one room, just hanging out, doing their thing or whatever. And my mom and one of my sisters were in the living room. Now this house had like 3 living areas, a dining room, a kitchen, 3 bedrooms, 2 restrooms, and a basement and a garage. And it had a lot of yard space. So anyways, all of the kids were in the room. We were just hanging out, and my mom and my sister were in the living room. My stepdad at the time was working the night shift, so he had already gone to work. So my sister and my mom were talking, and my sister said that she had thought it was my stepdad coming back from work thinking that he had forgotten something. So my sister told my mom, hey, I think, he came back, did he forget something, or, what is he doing out there? So my mom was like, no, he should be at work. If anything, he would call me to take it to his work since his job was close to the house. So my mom's like, oh, well, what did you see? Like, who did you see? So my sister said, oh, yeah, I saw a man walking outside in the driveway. I only saw the waist down, and he was wearing white pants. So that was red flag number 1 for my mom, because my stepdad worked in a dairy, so there was no way in how that they were going to be wearing white uniforms. My stepdad's uniforms were navy. So my mom, immediately went outside to look, saw that there was nobody there, no cars were there or anything, so they locked the doors. And at some point we found out, I don't think they ran to the room and told us, hey, your sister saw somebody, because that wouldn't be the case. So in between those days, we found out that they had seen something, and we just named it, el viejo de los pantalones blancos, the man in the white pants. So all the kids, well, we knew, me and my brother and my sister knew, and my other nephews were too small, so I don't think we had told them. But anyways, moving forward, I remember the second time that they saw this man or this figure, all of the kids were playing outside. It was in the summer, back when all the kids actually played outside with, random things with sticks or mud or whatever. Anyways, all the kids, we were playing outside, and my other sister was there, and she was pregnant. So we were like, running around, yelling, playing games. My sister told us to be quiet because she saw my stepdad come outside and then walk back inside. So my mom told her, I don't think, why would he come out? Like, he's asleep. So my sister said, yeah, I saw him. He walked out and he stood there by the driveway, and then he walked back in. So my mom went to check what was going on. So she went to check up on my stepdad, and she's told him, like, no, he's dead asleep, like he's sleeping. And then my mom asked her, well, what did you see? And my sister told her, well, I saw a man walk out, and he was wearing white pants, but I only saw him from the waist down. So he came out of the house, stood out there, and then walked back in. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the chills. Just remembering. So as soon as all of the kids heard that, we all looked at each other, and we got scared because we had already known that my other sister had seen that. And we booked it inside. We all ran, we were screaming, and my sister didn't know why we were running or why we were scared. And she was pregnant, so my mom was telling her, oh no, don't worry, the kids are just acting dumb or whatever. So then once my sister was inside, then my mom had to tell her, oh, it's, the kids got scared because the other night your other sister saw the same thing. So after that whole situation, we all knew, okay, well, there's a man that's walking around in white pants, and then it's a ghost. And this house was really old, like it was really old, so it was, yeah, it creaked and it made noises and stuff like that, but you never felt alone, but you weren't scared at the same time, if that makes any sense. Like, it didn't feel disturbing or uncomfortable. Like, I would say Home Alone when I was a teenager a lot, and I wouldn't be scared, but I would hear a lot of things. So those were the two very first encounters that my sisters had. And I actually have pictures of the house. The house does not exist anymore, but I did find some on Google Maps, and I'll post them up here so you guys can get that feel for the house. It was just creepy. And I remember when I would get home, the bus would drop me off at my house, and the kids would tell me, oh my gosh, your house is haunted, it looks scary, have you seen things in there? And it's like, if you only knew the things that we saw there. Okay, so the house was so creepy that nobody wanted to be in the house by themselves. Like, when we would have company and everybody would be outside, if somebody had to go pee or whatever, they would go in a group, or they would take somebody to go with them, because they were so scared to be in the house by themselves. And the scariest rooms in that house were my mom's room and the basement. Those were the creepiest rooms. Like, my mom's room was always dark, it was always cold, and it just gave you like this nasty vibe. Like, for me, it reminded me, like in the movie The Exorcist, when like they're in the room and it's just like gloomy and foggy, and that's what I just pictured every time I would pass by that room, is, oh shit, the Exorcist is gonna come and get me. So we always need to have that door closed. We did not want to pass by it and have it be open. Nobody wanted to go into my mom's room, and if you did need to go get something, we would go in there, grab it, close the door, and run the fuck out. Like, that's how scary that room was. And then the basement was scary as well, because it was really big, and it had a room, and the door to the room had a lock on the outside, and it had a little peephole. So it was just creepy, that room in that basement. And then I remember on the floors of that basement, there was triangles like painted on the floor, which I don't know what it means, if it means like anything, spiritual or anything like that, but that basement was just creepy. We would hear people knocking, we would hear knocks on the windows in the night, and this house was in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no way that there was gonna be people knocking on your door, and you would actually open the door and there was nobody there. My mom heard coughs at one point when she was on the phone with a friend, and she was home alone, and she said that she heard a man coughing, and she knew she was home alone, but she actually got up and checked, and she saw that nobody was there. So just things like that happened. She even had the door, she was trying to open the door to go outside, and somebody pushed it back. Like, they wouldn't let her open the door. So once she got it open, she thought somebody was going to be behind the door, and yet to find that there was nobody. So everybody knew, things that would go on, but we kind of just got used to it by the time, over the years. We lived there for so many years, and we actually came to really love that house. The very first encounter that I had, that I saw with my own eyes, was one night I was sleeping. I was sharing the room with my brother, and he was sleeping by the wall, and I was sleeping on the edge of the bed facing the window. And I remember I woke up one night and I saw a man standing by the bed. And the first thing I noticed was that, one, he had white pants, and he also had a white shirt with 2 pockets on the chest. So, and the thing that I remember this clearly, is he didn't have a face. You couldn't see a face. It was just like blurred out, and he was see-through, and he was floating. Like, his feet were not touching the ground. So I remember waking up, seeing that, and I remember opening and closing my eyes just to make sure that I wasn't dreaming or having a nightmare. So I turned around, And I told my brother, like, hey, there's somebody in the room, and it's a man. It's the man with the white pants. And he didn't believe me. He thought I was just like, probably even like having a nightmare or sleepwalking or whatever. So he just told me to go back to sleep. I don't know how I did it. I put myself back to sleep. I was scared shitless. And I remember waking up the next morning and telling my mom, and everybody thought that it was just like a dream or a nightmare, but I know what I saw, and that was creepy, and I'm never gonna forget that, because till this day it gives me the chills to just remember about that. So that was the first time that I ever saw this like full body apparition. I don't know how old I was. I was probably like 8 or 9, somewhere around there. So that was that. The other encounter that I had was I was in the garage folding the laundry, and I remember I had to pee so bad that I was like, okay, either I pee my pants or I finish folding the clothes. So I remember I left all the laundry there. I ran inside, I peed, but I had left the garage door open. So as I'm walking back out to the garage, I saw in the exact same place that I was standing at, I saw a figure. It was kind of like a smoke type figure, but it had like a body figure, but it was just like smoky, and it was see-through, and again, it was not touching the ground. And at that point, I thought it was a nephew that I had, that they were living there as well, and I thought it was him. So I told him, and it almost felt like if I startled it, because as I was walking out and I said, hey, what are you doing here? It like stopped and froze. And I froze as well because I was scared. So then I was walking closer to it, and then it just like swept to the side and disappeared into thin air. I left the laundry there. I ran back inside. I went into the basement because that's where we were staying at the time. We actually slept in the basement because my brother was living there. So there was at one point where all the kids were sleeping in the basement. So I ran into the basement and I saw that my nephew was there, and I told him, hey, you weren't in the garage or anything? Like, you didn't go and try to scare me? He's like, no, I've been here all the time. I've been here the whole time. So that was creepy as fuck. Like, I was scared. And another thing that I remember that happened was we were all outside, and I went inside to get something from the kitchen, I remember. And then I saw what I thought was my sister walk from the kitchen into the hallway. And I remember calling her name and started following her. And as I went around into the hallway, there was nobody there. So then I was like, okay, what the hell? Like, I know that was my sister. So I went outside and everybody was outside. So I don't know who the hell that was. I have no idea what that was, but they just disappeared into the hallway. So it was just creepy to be, to see those things. But I mean, yeah, they scare you when you first see them, but then, like I said, we just got used to hearing all these things and seeing things like that. I remember also we were hanging out in the basement, and all of a sudden we hear somebody like running down towards us down the stairs. And we stopped what we were doing to see, okay, who the heck is coming? Like, why are they rushing so much to come to, like, down to the basement? So we stopped what we were doing and we turned to like see who was coming down, and all of a sudden, like, the footsteps stopped. So we looked at each other like, okay, this bitch is trying to scare us. Like, it's not working. We heard you. So then we got up to check who was at the stairs, trying to scare us. And when we got there to see, there was nobody there. And that was scary as hell, because we clearly heard the footsteps of somebody racing down the stairs. So just things like that they were just really creepy. Another thing that happened, I was home alone that night, and my mom and my stepdad were out, and my brother was working night, so I was home alone that night. And I remember calling my mom and asking her if she was coming home already, and she said, no, we're not coming home right now, but just lock all the doors and everything and just go to sleep. Like, we'll be there later. So our house had those plastic covers that you put on your carpet. We had those throughout the house. And the house was really old, that when you would open the front door of the house, all of the windows would shake. So I was, trying to go to sleep, low-key scared, knowing that I was home alone. And I heard the door open from I heard the door from the house open along with the window shaking, and I clearly saw from the bottom of the door, I saw the light turn on outside of my mom's room. I clearly heard it. I clearly saw it turn on. And I clearly heard my mom tell my stepdad, "Hey, did you turn off the lights?" So then I can hear them. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the chills. I can hear him walking over those plastic covers. I saw the light being turned off, and then I heard the door to the room close. So then, at the moment, I was like, okay, good, they're home, I can go to sleep now. But then it hit me that my mom had told me, no, we're not on our way right now, just go to sleep, we're not going to be there until later. So I called her and I told her, hey, are you home yet? Did you come in? And she said, no, we're still here. She's like, I told you we're not going to go home until another while. So I don't know what that was. I don't know. I was too scared to even get up and check. I just remembered I locked my door. I crawled into bed and I put myself to sleep. And until this day, I don't even know. I know my mom didn't come home because she told me and she wasn't home. So that was just creepy to experience, actually hearing the voices and seeing that the lights turn on and hearing the footsteps and, the doors close. That was just very creepy. I hope that you liked this video. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. The next video that I have coming up is my experience at the Queen Mary. That one is going to be a lot better because I actually have pictures because it's more recent. As to, this one on the haunted house, I don't have pictures because it's been more than 10 years. So just stay tuned and keep an eye out for that Queen Mary video because that one was something else. That one's on another level. I can't. So yeah, just stay tuned for that one. So that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.